I have to go with my favorite soundtrack of all time.
The person that got me into filmmaking in the first place is Steven Spielberg.
The most overrated composer of all time.
And I listened to it. I was like, this is just incredible.
It's the greatest soundtrack ever. The greatest pairing of a director and a composer in the modern age.
You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with Alfred Hitchcock and Bernard Herrmann.
The fact that he has 3 Oscars and Zimmer has 2 is crazy. Is absolutely like ridiculous.
I would say that film music has had an influence on me more than probably the movies themselves.
The dancing scene.
This is Ketchup Theory. Rock, paper, Zimmer. So we turned on the TV and we saw Dune 3 in the trailer, and we are just mesmerized by the sound and the uniqueness of the score. And you're not just hearing trailer music, you're hearing the actual music that will be in Dune by Hans Zimmer. And so that sparked in us the influence that composition and music has had in our editing and our filmmaking and our creativity and all the directors and composers. So we decided, well, what would be fun to do a draft, a composer, best director draft duo, and see what we come up with and really get the ideas from and influences from the different composers that we've had and the directors that we had and what type of movie would they make. So this is a really fun episode. If you love film music, or if you work all day and you listen to film music, a lot of people do. A lot of people listen to Interstellar while they work. Then you're really going to love this. So I hope you listen along and let us know in the comments what you think. All right. The Dune trailer came out.
Yeah.
So that kind of sparked this whole conversation about what we're going to be talking about today with our director, composer, our first ever Ketchup Theory draft.
Yes,
which
shout
will
out
be-
to my favorite podcast, The Spitballers. They kind of a lot of people do it, but they kind of popularized the idea of drafting things for fun. Obviously, we'll apply it to the more artistic side, but shout out to my favorite podcast.
Yeah, and it's just a good way to kind of spark the conversation because, and to kind of spark a memory, about certain ones that we kind of drawn to. Obviously, I'm wearing my Zimmer hat, so I hope I win the first round. I'm playing on sympathy. I'm trying to sympathize with the audience.
If you get the first pick, that is.
Yeah. And I get to talk about my history of how I got into music composing and how it affected my whole filmmaking career. But let's go back to Dune, speaking of Hans Zimmer. From a musician standpoint, what was your thought process on when you first... I remember when I first heard the first Dune trailer, and I remember where I was the second Dune trailer. Now the third one does not disappoint.
Well, I'll just say every time a Dune trailer comes out, I'm like, this is the best movie trailer I've ever seen. And half of that is the fact, of course, that Hans Zimmer does compose the score for the trailers, which, I mean, I don't know what the percentage is. A lot of them use stock music, but Hans Zimmer, it all goes back to that first Dune trailer. I mean, he used Eclipse from Pink Floyd. My favorite album closer of all time is Eclipse from Dark Side of the Moon. It is so epic. And of course, with Dune, he uses that for the trailer, and then he always ups it. And now with this latest trailer, you have the actor Timothée Chalamet doing the chants, which is awesome. And it was such an epic trailer.
Yeah, and he always has to up his game to some extent, I guess. He's always looking for a way. So in the first one, obviously, it was the voice, Loire, her voice. And then with the second one, he always wanted to do a love theme. He's always doing the death scene. He's always doing but he wanted to do his love theme. We talked about this before, but kind of like with Empire Strikes Back, you had the Han Solo and Leia love theme. This one gave him the opportunity.
One of my favorites, Across the Stars, which is the Anakin and Padme love theme, which is not a great film romance, but the theme is beautiful.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that theme.
And now he comes out with this one, and he's always looking for new sounds. And I don't think there have been some composers that have integrated the voice of the actor or actress in. There's not very many times that have incorporated into the music, but the way that he decided to actually use it as a character theme, because he's big on character themes, how to build it part of the character. Uh, yeah, it's just so epic.
Well,
It's
what's
just so
interesting
epic.
is I've I've always felt he's not big on character themes. That's always been more of his thing. Like a lot of the characters, like maybe from like a Christopher Nolan movie, maybe they don't have specific character themes, but it's more like the theme of the universe. But then again, I mean, he's done like I've never seen a composer that's done so many soundtracks. So for a lot of his big movies, it's much about the theme of the world, but then
It is.
integrating it.
It
Go ahead.
is. It is. But he. It depends on the director that we're going
It
to talk
does.
about, director combo, because he
Yeah,
does like the character theme.
he does.
He talked about it. He does
Obviously,
a
with the
master class.
Batman trilogy,
He does a master
he does
class, and he
character
did
themes.
Batman. He did Joker
Jack
with
Sparrow,
the
Sherlock Holmes.
Emperor, with the Emperor of
Yep, yep,
Gladiator.
yep.
Like he did, yeah. So he's really big. It just really
Yeah,
depends on.
on the
It
director.
depends.
That's true.
It does depend on the director.
But it is,
Otherwise, with Christopher Nolan, you are going to get more of a sound world. With
yeah,
Villeneuve, you're going to get both.
yeah. And it's interesting from a character in a story perspective. For the first two Dune movies, you've had this chant, and there's been the other, like the oh man, I don't remember the name of the kind of the evil people like the Baron. I don't remember the name of their race, but they kind of have their chants that they do. The movie opens with the really deep, almost
Yeah.
Mongolian throat singing. And now
Mm-hmm.
integrating it with Paul's character, it kind of really symbolizes how he's really now become this emperor of the universe, basically. So now he's the one that's actually doing the voice, and it's no longer this kind of thing in the background. It's actually him. So from a character perspective, it makes sense. Denis and Hans Zimmer have said they're taking a very different approach with this one. There's a different cinematographer. Dune Messiah, very epic. There's a different cinematographer, and Hans Zimmer is doing something different with the soundtrack. So this is going to have a very different feel to it. And I really think from a character perspective, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I've never really seen too many movies that have so like with Lord of the Rings, with the way they did the music, just listening to the soundtrack, it's the same throughout all three movies.
Yeah.
This one, and which it drives me crazy that they wouldn't allow Dune 2 to be nominated for a score, because it's completely different than the first one. Like if you listen to
really
the
is.
first two back to back, it's a completely different soundtrack. They didn't even they used the Loire's chant once, I think, in the entire movie.
Right. And then it's like all the Star Wars, like Williams gets nominated for multiple movies that
Yeah,
all have such a similar soundtrack, but Zimmer's like, he's gotten 2 Oscars and he's
yeah,
legendary. And then you look at Ludwig, who I think is the best modern composer. I do. Obviously, Zimmer's still around, but for like the new wave,
yeah.
I think he's the
For the
best.
new wave, because
Zimmer's
there's
been
not a
around.
lot of
Zimmer's been
newer
around
ones.
forever, so it's
There's
like,
not a lot of newer
yeah.
composers, even though he's 41. So
But
you
the fact
don't
that he has
have
3
any.
Oscars and Zimmer has 2 is crazy. Is
Yeah,
absolutely ridiculous.
yeah. And Hans Zimmer has gone more towards the epic style movies,
Mhm.
where Coogler was more looking more for like the groundbreaking. So it's almost like his movies are more Oscar. I don't know what might be on the radar
Yeah, on their
more,
radar.
but
Yeah.
yeah, where Zimmer does do a lot more kind of like the epic, and that's why they get him. They get him because they have
Mhm.
this epic movie and they need to have his sound.
Yeah.
So, but let's transition really quick. And so we also saw the Spider-Man
Yes.
trailer.
Did not disappoint with that trailer.
Another Zendaya movie. of
Mm-hmm.
course. So we
She's
saw
in
that.
all
That
of
came
them,
out.
everything.
She's in all of them. Yeah, she's in
But
3
Tom
movies this
Holland
year.
too. Tom Holland's in the Odyssey and in Spider-Man, which are both released in. Oh no, they're not released at the same time. Oh, but and in Doomsday, Tom Holland will be in Doomsday.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Doomsday and Dune are both coming out in the same month, which is
yeah,
crazy. I believe that is correct.
yeah. But
Doomsday, they're
but
saying.
you had some thoughts on the whole Tom Holland thing.
Yeah, so you sent me something the other day, and I sent you the laughing emoji, and you asked me why it was funny. So what was it like? Tom Holland was like looking through fan forums or whatever to find out what
Yes.
fans want. So the reason I think that's funny is because the biggest company in the world, Disney, and then you have their star, and he's like, "Oh, I want to make sure we get this right." But it's like, first of all, why can't Disney figure it out? Why can't Marvel figure out what the fans want? And then the actor doing research on it, it's like, well, he has nothing. He's not writing the script. Who knows what little influence does he actually have over what happens in the movie, besides his characterizations and stuff? So it's like, it's great that he loves the character enough to do that, but that doesn't mean that everyone else on the project is doing that. I would love to hear like, oh, the screenwriters, the studio, they were doing a lot of research on what the fans wanted. It's like, okay, cool, the actor's doing it, but how much influence is that having over the finished product? Was he involved in writing the script? We don't know, how involved was he with the production of it. So it's great that he has that love for the fans and the character, but that doesn't necessarily mean the rest of the studio is doing the same thing. Or how come a big budget studio can't figure out what their fans want and the actor has to go
So
and do the research? So that's kind of why I thought it was funny. It was like, oh, that's cute that he's doing that, but what influence is that going to have on the movie?
it's hard to say. I will say that there was no guarantee that he was gonna play Spider-Man again. And so that could have gave him a little bit of leverage. He doesn't have to be, I mean, sure, he'll be in Doomsday, but he doesn't have, they don't have to bring him back. I mean, he's so big right now, he does not have to come back and do Spider-Man. He can get any project he wants at this point.
Which is true, even though he had a terrible agent.
Yeah.
He got all these terrible movies, and he's a really good
Yeah.
actor. He was
He's a
in
very good actor.
Doolittle, Uncharted, just terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like,
Entertaining, but
not
he did the
Doolittle is
one,
atrocious.
not Doolittle, but he did this other one where he was on a planet or something. He did, I can't remember what it was, but yeah, and I just think it just gives him, I think it does give him leverage.
Was it the movie Chaos Walking with Daisy Ridley? Was he in that movie?
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah. So
What a
we won't
waste
talk
of
about that.
talent. What a
Ketchup needs a lot of ketchup. A lot
Oh
of
my
ketchup
goodness.
on that one.
Yeah.
That would not pass the ketchup test.
No, it would not.
But I think it does give him leverage, and he said it. I mean, he said it. I mean, I know he says a lot of stuff on talk shows.
He does.
He's
That's kind of
he's
part of his
notorious.
image now.
But he's like, yeah, listen, I went in and I got all this information. I said, I think this is what the fans want. So
Yeah, and like I said,
it
that's
does
great.
look like it from the trailer. It does look like it from the trailer.
It does. It does. And they just wrapped up filming, actually. So some people were a little bit complaining, which I can agree with. Some of the CGI was a little spotty, but I think by the time we get to the final product, it'll look, hopefully. Marvel is a little bit notorious for some of their recent movies having some spotty CGI.
And we have a video that's supposed to be coming out that one of our talks is going to be about why Marvel movies are failing and why they're doing so well, why they did well before, but that's just another topic.
But yeah, so hopefully they'll take that feedback and they won't be like, oh, people are going to come see it anyways. And hopefully they'll say, we'll actually fix this so that we can have a nice polished film that looks really good, that looks artistic.
But I'm really excited about the movies that are coming out this year. I felt like last year we get the Regal Unlimited, and it just felt like last year there was just nothing to use it on. And this year there's just so much coming out. But I mean, you have...
Last year there was more... I mean, this is the year of big blockbusters. Last year was more so for the movies, maybe not, but this year is for the blockbuster for sure.
And on the composer side,
Project Hail Mary is doing phenomenal, which is
and it's only It's the first weekend. Technically, the
I
first
know.
weekend
I'm
was
so
because they
glad
had a
because
re-release.
it's not a sequel. It is based on a book, but I'm really glad that it's doing well because Hollywood would be like, oh, people do want to go see movies that
Something
aren't
that's
just
positive.
sequels. Something that's positive, something that isn't a sequel.
It's not about
People
it's about working towards a problem, not in the problem.
not
So
connected with another established property, intellectual property. It's an
at all.
original. It is based on a book, but it's an original concept. So Hollywood's like, oh, people want to see that. Oh, I didn't know that. Again, market
Yeah.
research.
Again, market research. He Andy Weir kind of found success for the first book. His second book did not do as well, but then his second one really hit it home. And of course, when you have somebody like Ryan Gosling who's kind of been backing the project since the beginning,
Oh,
he
talk about
loved the
an
book
actor. Talk about an actor that has been involved. He has been
and influence.
heavily. He has been
Yeah,
heavily involved with the whole process, as well as Lord and Miller. One of the best. I almost feel like they're underrated in the sense that their movies are all great. It's
correct.
their animation work, but nobody is really like they're not a household name yet, but they should be because I mean the Lego movie that was like
Right, Lego and Spider
revolutionary
Verse,
in Spider
Lego and
Verse.
Spider. But once again, animation. There's still there's a tremendous amount of people that will not that
Yes,
just don't like to see animated movies,
it's true.
regardless.
Yeah, which
Regardless.
is
So
ridiculous. Oh,
yeah,
animated movies are kids' movies. Across the Spider Verse is not a
it's
kids'
not a
movie.
kids movie.
Kids can watch it. The whole family can watch it, but it is very much a like if it was live action, it could be nominated for like not enough animated movies get nominated for Best Picture. There's only been three: Toy Story
But
3,
when
Beauty and the Beast, and Up.
but when they take that style and the themes and the way that they tell a story into a real movie, it
Hmm.
really shows. It's like, yeah, we can do animation, but we can also do a Hollywood blockbuster.
Yeah,
But
across.
and
Yeah,
in transition, also had an amazing soundtrack. It's yeah, the soundtrack. We like Daniel Pemberton. We were able to see a live
underrated,
performance.
super underrated. One of my favorite working composers right now, Across the Spider Verse, is one of the best soundtracks. Also, Into the Spider Verse. Yeah,
Both of them, both of
Project
them,
Hail Mary, just
tremendous.
incredible. Like no
So
one
let's
else
get
sounds like what he's doing.
so let's get into our draft then. So we're
Yes,
looking at best composer, director duos. That's essentially that what we're looking at.
but we're
And
drafting specific movies though. So like,
correct,
yeah. And once
yeah,
that director and composer combo, once that's taken, we can't take those two people again.
correct.
Yeah.
And then why don't you explain the snake draft?
Yes. Basically, we'll do rock, paper, scissors to see who gets to go first.
Which
And
seems
then,
appropriate.
yeah. And then the first person will get one pick, second person will get two picks because of the advantage of the first pick. And then I believe it'll be two picks at a time. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
somewhat. Yeah, because then I think it's just one pick. No math involved here. We'll figure it out as we go. Because
Right.
I don't think
But
with 5 picks
how many rounds are we doing?
up until we get 5. Yeah. Okay. So let's go into. Oh well, first we need to figure out who's going to go first. All right. So the score draft. So first we get to decide who's going to go first. So without hitting our microphones, rock paper scissors.
Yeah. Rock,
2,
paper,
3,
scissors,
4,
shoot.
shoot.
Ooh, was there a
What do you
delay?
got?
I got
Ah,
scissors. Yes. You no mercy.
no
I
mercy.
mean,
All right.
listen, they're gone. After we pick them, they're gone.
That's right. All right. Joshua. All right. So you get the first pick.
I mean, I feel horrible, but I have to go with my favorite soundtrack of all time. It's the greatest soundtrack ever, the greatest pairing of a director and a composer in the modern age. And it's the greatest execution of this. And so I have to take Interstellar, Hans Zimmer and Christopher
Oh,
Nolan.
I thought you were going to pick The Dark Knight.
No, I think Interstellar is the
Interstellar.
best soundtrack.
All right.
So
So Hans Zimmer is off the board.
and Christopher Nolan.
And Christopher Nolan. Yes, 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 yes,
I
yes.
know you
That's
have the
okay.
hat, but
Nope, nope.
there's
That's okay.
plenty of other legends that we can go with,
Nope, that's okay. Because
and you get two picks.
the person that, yeah, so I get two picks now. Okay, perfect. So
That's how
the
the
person
snake draft
that,
works. Yes, because I have the advantage of the first pick.
so the person that got me into filmmaking in the first place is Steven Spielberg. So I'm actually glad I can reserve, because there would be no Hans Zimmer if it weren't for, or won't be no Hans Zimmer for me in liking him if it weren't for Steven Spielberg.
Yes.
So and then of course worked with John Williams, the maestro. I'm just writing down my picks here so I don't forget. So
I had
John
a hard
Williams.
time with thinking. I was thinking if I had Williams, what do I go with? So I'm interested to see what soundtrack you're gonna pick as yours.
So that is a very difficult one.
It is.
Because I would say, so I'm trying to think of like the perfect movie. I'm also trying to think of it this way. It's like if I were to have a movie, and let's just say, and I was able to pick a director, I would definitely pick Steven Spielberg over Christopher Nolan. And then I'm like, okay, well, I have John Williams. Which of his soundtrack best depicts
The
what
collaboration.
I would do in a
okay.
collaboration? So E.T., Close Encounters, and Jurassic Park. But Jurassic Park is the movie that got me into soundtracks, and it's not the movie. No, okay, it's not the movie that got me into soundtracks. And I'm hoping he's still around for me to pick him, but I have to pick John Williams.
I know exactly who you're thinking of.
But I would have to say Jurassic Park because of the majestic, the horns, the swells, it's just remarkable. It's remarkable what he was able to do, and just the fact that he used the horn the way he did to kind of signify the dinosaurs and how they have that low. I thought that was brilliant, and it really that those two combinations. So I'm definitely gonna pick. So John Williams and Steven Spielberg will be my first pick. The second pick is gonna be a little more difficult. Now, I mean, because the Hans Zimmer effect is, I mean, he's worked with every director, and so some
You're
of the
like, I want to take this movie, and you're like, oh wait,
I can't.
I
That
can't
was
take
also
it.
Zimmer too, or I can't take, this person because of that. I'm gonna have to go with. I'm looking at my list here. So I'm gonna have to go with. See here.
Hopefully, people stick with us because they know more than Hans Zimmer and John Williams. Some people think they're the only two film composers that exist.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I know. That's the crazy part is, and it's funny with people know John Williams because of Star Wars. I think more and more. I think especially with Dune. I think people
know Zimmer.
I think people could kind of like tell who he, who.
Time
I think they know
Inception is
Zimmer.
pretty popular.
I think they know Zimmer. I think they don't realize what he does, like the movies that he actually does.
King?
But I'm gonna have to go with Alan Silvestri and Robert Zemeckis. I have to get him off the board because
that was gonna be. And people might be like, "What? Robert Zemeckis, Alan Silvestri? Who are these people? Why don't you name some of the movies they've worked on together?"
Well, I mean, he's worked on together. I would have to say he did. Back to the Future is the big one.
And
Back to the Future, Robert Zemeckis,
Forrest Gump.
He did do right. No, Forrest Gump with Alan Silvestri. Yes, that's right. Yeah, it was. Yeah,
that one. Iconic soundtrack. But I would go with Back to the Future as well.
Well, one of my favorite soundtracks of all time is Castaway. He also did that. They did that together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he also did that together. So, and I love the theme to Castaway. It's just remarkable. So that gives me a lot to work with, because he also did all the Avengers movies.
But
most of the Avengers movies.
You only get the one movie though.
No, I know. I would have to say Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Because I think I always try to put Back to the Future is inspired in the sounds that he used.
Why don't you tell that? Because that's a good story.
So the story is that I had a cassette tape that had a bunch of soundtracks on it that was given to me. I listened to it. I had liked classical composers, of course, but this is I heard this. It was on the, I think it was on the B side, and I listened to it. I was like, this is just incredible. So I had an uncle who was visiting, and he's a classical aficionado. He loves classical music. And so I put, you got to hear this. You got to hear this. So I put the tape on. Here's Back to the Future theme. He's older, so he didn't really know anything about movies. He was like, wow, that was the most amazing piece of music I've ever heard in my life. I'm like, yeah, it's from a movie called Back to the Future.
And he's probably like, what?
And he was even like at the end with
it's so triumphant.
He was, yeah. And I think that you can just apply that and to pretty much any form of storytelling. That, again, the use of horns.
Oh yeah,
the use of horns is incredible. The swell, the cymbal, just the ability to do that, which is the classic cinematic orchestral sound.
Yeah,
which they are getting more away from, which is fine. Hans Zimmer is definitely influencing that.
Well, Ludwig Göransson used horns.
Is also, he does, but I mean, I'm talking about the full piece orchestra.
Right, that was kind of the older style.
Yeah. But I think his style can really apply to and any piece of work that I would work on, I would definitely pick Alan Silvestri. And I think that what he did in Back to the Future can apply to anything that I would try to create, because we go for that epic style, that epic inspirational kind of get you moving style, make that movie feel. And definitely that was something that encapsulated that. So, all right. So I got Jurassic Park, I've got Back to the Future, you have Interstellar.
Yeah, I think we should switch now to just one pick at a time.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
So I'm going to go, see, this is where it gets a little bit trickier, because now I'm starting to think of movies and I was like, okay, this director isn't as iconic as the person who composed the movie, or vice versa. But I think...
True. Yeah. Which is true. So you have to pick the movie where they did get together and do something amazing.
Yep. So I have my pick, and I'm going to take Danny Elfman. And most people probably think they know what I'm going to pick, but they don't. I'm going to go with Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies of all time. One of my favorite character themes ever, the Spider-Man theme, which he does use in the second movie.
Why 2 versus 1?
Because the Doc Ock theme is so epic. I actually was going to go with Spider-Man 1. When he's climbing and the tentacles are going through the wall. I was going to take 1, but then I remembered, wait a minute.
Oliver Platt.
The Doc Ock theme is so awesome. Oliver Platt.
Yeah, Oliver Platt, yeah.
Who is that?
Oliver Platt, right? That's the guy who played Doc.
No. It's not. It's, what's his name? I know his name. It's...
Oliver Platt played Doc Octopus. Yeah, Doctor. No, it's not. You're right. They look the same.
I know his name. I can't think of it, though. Alfred Molina. Alfred Molina.
Yeah, they look the same. They actually do look the same. That's why every time I see him, I always think of Doctor, but it is Alfred Molina.
But yeah, the Doc Ock theme is such an awesome theme, and obviously it still has the iconic score from the first movie.
That's kind of like a twofer, though. Kind of like a twofer.
Well, it could be a threefer, because the Sandman theme from the third movie is unbelievable. The scene when he's like, that movie is not great, but that scene is absolute cinema.
I reference that quite a bit.
Oh my goodness, in the black suited Spider-Man theme. Oh my goodness, but I have to go with the second one, because that's the one where the soundtrack and the movie are on the same level. The first one, I like the second one more. I like the Doc Ock theme, but honestly, the best soundtrack might be the third one. But I'm taking the second one because I love that movie. So
Yeah, and I think that Danny Elfman is not as prevalent as he once
oh,
was.
definitely not. But he is iconic. I mean, obviously the Tim Burton Batman movies is what he would be
Tim
most
Burton,
known
that,
for.
yeah, yeah.
And that's probably what most
And that
people would
was
go with.
Sam Mendes, right? So that takes Sam Mendes off the list.
No, not if the director isn't drafted. You would just have to find a
No, you're picking combos. Right, you're right. You're right. Tim
Sam
Burton was
Raimi.
the,
Sam Raimi.
yeah, yeah, Raimi. Well, wait a minute. Was Tim Burton, Danny Elfman, was that Spider-Man 2? That was
No, that was
Spider-Man 2.
no. Sam Raimi
Uh,
did the Spider-Man trilogy,
yeah.
and then Tim
So,
Burton was Batman and Danny Elfman. But I took Spider-Man too.
but
Most people
you
would probably
can't,
go with
no, you can't go with that. You have to go with the director and composer combo from the movie. The
yes,
director of Spider-Man 2 was Sam Raimi.
yeah. That's what I'm taking.
So you're
I
taking Sam Raimi and Danny Elfman.
yeah.
Gotcha. Not Tim Burton.
Most
Yeah,
people would pick the Batman movie, but I think Spider-Man 2 is a
gotcha.
better movie, so I went with it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you still have, I mean, Sam Raimi is still
Oh yeah.
an incredible director.
Oh
So,
yeah. I mean, that
yeah,
Spider-Man 2 is I think it's still one of the best superhero movies.
yeah. All right. We're still, which is interesting because we're still, other than Hans Zimmer, Silvestri and Elfman still have Elfman has a very different style.
Oh yeah,
And it's hard to
beautiful.
pinpoint. It's
It's like
very beautiful.
it's like
It's
majestic.
majestic. Yeah, yeah.
It's so beautiful. It's very interesting because like the Sandman scene, it sounds so like Tim Burton-esque, but it fits that scene. It just makes the scene hit differently when you're watching it.
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
black
for
suited
sure.
Spider-Man theme is so epic. In fact, I cannot find the Spider-Man 3 soundtrack. Like, it's not on Spotify or on YouTube. It's like, is it too
Yeah,
good that it's illegal to listen to or something?
yeah. Just that one scene when he sees himself. Yeah, when he
The
sees
dancing
himself
scene.
in the mirror, in the window,
Oh my
that
goodness.
whole section, that
So
almost
epic.
inspired kind of like a lot of what you see in the jumping off scene, where you see a lot like following behind, like that was something that you hadn't really seen yet, and
One
it
of the
kind of
best
started there.
live action superhero suits of all time. The black
Yeah,
Spider-Man suit in Spider-Man 3 is epic.
yeah,
Some
yeah.
people are theorizing that in Spider-Man Brand New Day, actually, it's not the man spider, but actually he might have the symbiote already. That's another theory that's been going around, and that
Possibility.
might be what's making him mutate. So that's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what direction they go into, because in the comic, the Secret Wars comic, he has the symbiote. That's where he encounters
Hmm.
it for the first time.
All right, so I got William Silvestri. So that's just starting off there, and you
How many
got.
rounds are we going for?
We're just doing picking five, up to
Okay,
five. So, and you have
perfect.
Zimmer and Burton. I mean, that's, yeah,
Raimi
you can,
and Elfman. Raimi and
um,
Elfman. Danny,
um,
Sam Raimi.
Elfman, right. All right, cool. So the next one for me is easy. I know I'm going to get in a pick that's going to be not what people expect, but it's influenced me so much. So that's why I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
pick it. And I think it's beautiful. But I'm actually going to go with, um, the late James Horner
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and James Cameron.
Yep.
So you're looking at, I mean, obviously from a thriller's perspective, he did all the alien themes, but that's not what he's known for. He's known for Titanic
Mm-hmm.
and Avatar. So I love the use of the flute, and I love the use of it would be not the horns, but it would be what would you call it? My mind is going blank.
The
So it's not
woodwinds.
the woodwinds, yeah. So I love the use of the woodwinds because Zimmer is known for his strings,
Mm-hmm. And drums, his drums. Which is
percussions.
interesting because I picked a soundtrack that is not known for either of those.
Yeah, yeah.
It's got the organ in it, which is the most
It's got the
epic instrument
organ.
of all
Yeah,
time. And
yeah.
it's really
See
hard
that?
to.
See, that was my thing about that particular pick because, see, for me, if I wanted to get the Hans Zimmer sound, I would have picked Inception. But I would have picked Inception
Nah, I think
if I
Inception
wanted
is
the Hans Zimmer
overrated.
sound.
Oh, the most overrated Hans Zimmer soundtrack is Inception.
And listen, we want to get him here as a guest here. He revolutionized like trailer music
He
with
did. He
that
did.
sound.
He did.
With
He
that
did.
sound.
That's true. For trailer music, Inception wins. But I do not think that that's his best soundtrack. It's not even his most experimental soundtrack. Dune would be number 2 for me.
Correct.
But
Oh
that's
yeah.
off the board.
Yeah. No. I listen to Interstellar more than anything else. So of
I
course
actually think
I
for
love it.
strings, his best soundtrack might be Lion King because the strings in that are incredible. The
Well, you got
Pride
the
Land
woodwind
stuff,
too. You got the woodwind too because of
yeah.
you got the woodwind too on
Yeah,
that.
Titanic, beautiful.
Yeah.
You also have Celine Dion in there. That's like one of the best-selling songs of all time.
Well, yeah. I mean, of course, but I mean, it was before you even heard that.
Yeah.
It was the introduction
Mhm.
to.
The
It was
world.
the introduction, yeah, to the whole world. But I mean, he did Braveheart, which has that
Mm.
same. He did, which is Mom and R's wedding song, which is the Mask of Zorro.
Mhm. Oh,
Once
yeah.
again, it's the of woodwind because he uses woodwind so well in all of his music,
Mhm.
and it's just something about it that is really carries any type of story. I think that instrument, I think the flute just carries so much in a story and from an emotional standpoint. So I'm gonna have to pick. That's gonna be my pick, and it's too bad because it was very untimely, and his music. Like if you just go to Spotify and listen to "This Is James Horner," you'll be
Mhm.
surprised how much he does that you didn't realize that he did.
Yeah.
And he did a TED talk about a couple years before he died, and he was talking about how he's the one that I heard it from. He talked about how people don't realize, and Hans Zimmer is the exception, but how many composers don't own their music. So if you're a musician, you come up with a song, you can go on tour.
Mhm.
Until Hans Zimmer, and sometimes with like Williams is able to do it, but he kind of opened up the door, but you don't own that. When
No.
you don't do a music, the
The
studio owns
studio
it.
owns all the music.
You
That's why they
you
can
can
use it.
produce it. You can go and you can perform it, and people can do concerts. But and Hans Zimmer really revolutionized where composers actually own their music. He's a big component of that. But with them, that was a big challenge in the past. It's like you create a music, but it's not yours, and that was always.
Mhm.
He said that's very unique from a composer, is that he didn't, they weren't really his babies. He created for the music, and he had to move on, and so
Mhm.
that detachment was different in those days. But yeah, he definitely somebody that if he would be definitely in the running
Oh
every
yeah.
single year he would
Oh
be in the
yeah.
running for best soundtrack, hands
Mhm.
down, hands
Mhm.
down. All right, so I got Williams, Silvestri, and Horner. I mean that
That's
is
pretty
really
good.
good.
Yeah.
That's really good. And
But
you
it's
got Zimmer
okay.
and Elfman.
That's okay because I am still taking next one of my favorite movies of all time, one of a great director right now, and one of my favorite film composers of recent time. I'm gonna go with. Do you know what it is?
I
I'm
think
gonna go
so.
with La La Land.
Yeah.
Damien Chazelle and Justin Herzog. That movie is about music, and the soundtrack is absolutely stunning. It just takes you back to old timey sounding soundtracks to the modern age, and that movie is about film and music, two great art forms. It's really such a great movie because it's about movies and music together.
Yeah. And I've actually listened to I've listened to the Whiplash soundtrack, and I've listened to the First Man soundtrack.
Yeah,
And
crazy.
for Justin, and yeah, it's it definitely, once again, going back to that classic that classic sound of what a movie sound should be. It was.
And bringing
Um,
jazz kind of to a different audience that might not be listening to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
in
It's
like any movie
definitely
comes
a
out.
custom, definitely a more personable pick because I don't think there are so many others out there, but that soundtrack, and just that end sequence,
Oh
it's
yeah,
just,
oh yeah.
that end sequence is one of the most, I mean, I actually listened to it quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
that end sequence.
And I mean,
I don't
I
know, I mean, does he
uh
get credit for that piano, for that song?
hold
Um,
on.
because I got to figure that out because
Yeah, it won the
yeah, the
Oscar.
sheet music, yeah, the
It
theme.
won the Oscar. Oh yeah, everybody knows do 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 do
That's what I mean.
do.
Was he responsible
Everybody
for
knows
that?
that.
He
Oh
was
yeah,
responsible for that. Yeah, yeah.
everybody knows that. You might not know the name, but you know the music. Dun dun da 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 da. Da. Oh my god,
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's so good.
yeah.
No, I don't know if he wrote all the songs, but no, he did compose most of the all the music. Obviously, he composed the. Honestly, might be my favorite like romance theme. My favorite romance theme of all time. The La La Land theme. It's so incredible. And that piano sequence, I mean, they made piano playing epic, which
Yeah.
obviously I play piano, so I'm glad to see they had a cinematic scene dedicated to how epic playing the piano can be. So I appreciate that. That's one of my favorite scenes, my second favorite movie ever. So yeah, I'm really happy with everything I have so far. Those were ones that I wanted going into it. Yeah. Now two more, right? Now we're getting a little
So
bit
let me ask
more
you, if
obscure.
you hadn't, so if you had picked Zimmer first, who would you have gone with?
It was between
Because I
Zimmer
wouldn't have.
and
I probably would not. I probably would have picked Elfman, but for Batman, because again, during the time I was growing up with all the different music, that was the next big thing. That was like that Batman theme, and
yeah.
then you heard all the other stuff. Edward Scissorhands,
Incredible, yeah.
The Ice Dance is one of my favorites. So definitely would have
Yeah,
gone with
that's
that.
another really good. That's true. If I hadn't gone with Zimmer, oh, definitely Williams. Jurassic Park would have been my pick.
Yeah,
Or Jaws. I mean, we didn't even mention
but I
that.
wouldn't have picked. I definitely wouldn't have picked Justin. So
Jaws too. I mean, that is as iconic as anything. Talk about the horns. Do 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 do. Like that's
yeah.
crazy. Just that opening sequence with the music is so mysterious. But it was too hard to pick a movie with Williams because there's so many.
Yeah. Um,
Also tricky to do Star Wars because George Lucas actually didn't direct the original trilogy, so people might not even know the director.
yeah. And that's the thing. And sometimes you get to the point where director composer combos become, there's still tons of them that are left. I have to go with, once again, I'm trying to build my perfect movie, right? And
Well,
if I have to
trying to
pick a
go with a movie that's
director,
really good too, yeah.
if I have
Great
to pick a,
movie, great
yeah,
soundtrack, great director. It's hard to get all three.
yeah. So, but I'm going to go with one of my favorite, actually, who is the director of, I just gotta see who the director of.
There's another composer who's just as versatile as Hans Zimmer is.
Yeah, see, it's hard to find. It's hard to find the combo.
That's where it's getting
Um,
tricky. Okay, I guess I gotta keep talking while you looking up that. I have my ukulele here, so I'll play some music themes for you.
oh my goodness. I'm just trying to find out who the director of this one movie is.
Terrible.
People hear it, they're like, "Oh, I want that. He's my director." So I gotta see what he does. Well, because I have one already picked, but I have to see what he does to see if I would use him for other.
I'm available to
Okay.
score
So
your
all right,
movie if you're interested. I have
I got it.
scored
So
pieces of music professionally without my dad knowing that he was paying me for doing that. But that's my I'm making more money than most musicians are.
all right, so I'm gonna go with an incredible director and astounding composer. I'm gonna go with J.J. Abrams and Michael
Oh,
Giacchino
oh.
combo from Star Trek.
Not the director I would have gone with, but I forgot he did. I
But
forgot that he
I do
did
like
Star
him as
Trek.
a director.
He is
I
a good
do like
director.
him as a director.
I
I
forgot that.
love him as
Oh
a
my
director.
gosh, that
His
score.
mystery box
Oh no, he is a great director.
idea thesis is incredible.
Yeah,
I had a
and
choice
actually, the
between
new Star Trek movies are great.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I had a choice
Oh man,
between I had a choice between him and Matt Reeves.
Matt Reeves. Yeah, I know. Dawn of the War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. So those are my two options. But
You
I
also
just
just
think,
stole half of the Pixar movies from me because I was gonna go with for a different. I was gonna take a different angle. I was gonna do Up or Inside Out or Ratatouille.
yeah, any
Um,
one of them. Yeah. Yeah.
but the directors aren't as iconic.
But because
Pete
I'm a science
Docter,
fiction
yeah,
fan,
Pete
I
did
got to go with those two.
Pete Docter did Up and Inside Out, and he's an incredible director. Both those movies are amazing. So yeah, now I can't.
That sequence when they see the Enterprise for the first time, that
Yeah.
song is so amazing.
In fact,
And it's
shout
just,
out, who is that pianist that we like on YouTube that does the epic
oh
piano
yeah,
covers?
I
I
can't think
can't
of
think
his
of his
name right now. It's been a
name.
while, but yeah,
He does an
yeah.
incredible rendition. Like he makes
He does the whole thing.
he
He
does
does the
the
whole
whole
thing.
Star Trek. He does like all the epic movies. I gotta shout him out because there's a lot of piano YouTubers, but I think he does some of the best covers. Star Trek piano cover. I think it was Mark something. Man, there's so many now. Mark Fowler.
Yeah,
He was like the OG. This is from 12 years ago. People weren't doing
Yeah.
piano covers on YouTube back then.
And he does the ET rendition as well.
Oh my goodness,
The
yeah.
whole thing.
Shout out to Mark
All right.
Fowler.
So I got William, Silvestri, Horner, and Giacchino. So I got, yeah, these are all my. These are all my. Even with a draft, these are still my favorite composers.
Yeah, yeah.
So that gives me
really
4.
I was worried you were gonna do Giacchino because I
and
really
you got
wanted, but he's done so much. I mean, Matt Reeves is becoming a household name with the Batman for sure. That's not
So you got number 4 coming up.
Okay,
So-
let me think here. So
Director, composer combo.
I have one. I have one. I'm not gonna lie though. The director composer combo is actually a little bit more iconic than the movie is itself. But it's one of my favorite. Oh man, this is not. We got millions of people voting on this. I need to go with what the people are gonna think. Maybe I'll save
Like
that for
Tom
the-
Holland. We got Tom Holland. We got to look through the
No,
got to
he's
look through the
listening to this
reviews.
podcast.
And it's like bringing it to Marvel. It's like, listen, we gotta use Silvestri.
But I gotta go with okay, I know what I'm gonna go with. I am gonna take. I think this is iconic enough. There's so many great Pixar soundtracks, and I think we need to represent animation here. I would easily go with Across the Spider-Verse, but that's not directed by Lord and Miller. Like I don't know. Like the director doesn't really have any name power, even though that's one of my favorite animated soundtracks. I would have loved to have had Inside Out or Up, but those are both by Michael Giacchino. But there's other incredible Pixar soundtracks. So I may go with, and he's a pretty iconic, very iconic composer for film. I don't know if this is my favorite Pixar soundtrack though. Maybe okay, I think I'm just gonna go with who directed this movie. See, when you get to animated directors, it's a little bit more
Right.
obscure.
And
People
so
don't
which
know,
is
unfortunately.
Lord and Miller, which is amazing for Lord and Miller, but yeah, they don't know the directors, which
No.
they really have to get them.
Unfortunately.
They have to get, because they're not on camera, they
Yeah.
have to still convey the emotion.
100%. I know. Very undersung. Like you're directing people that are just reading words. Like that's not easy to do, especially for like Pixar movies, which kind of have a pretty high bar. But I think I'm gonna have to go with. Oh man, I can't take The Incredibles because that was Michael Giacchino. So I gotta go with one of the Newmans, either Randy Newman or Thomas Newman. They've both done incredible soundtracks for Pixar. Which one am I gonna go with? Probably. I think I'm gonna take the most iconic. I'll go with. I'm gonna take. I think I'm gonna take Monsters Inc. Everybody knows the theme.
Yeah, Thomas. That's Thomas Newman, right?
Randy Newman.
Randy Newman. I like Thomas Newman better. Sorry. Thomas Newman has a way bigger.
I think that's a more iconic theme, though. Like, I don't know how many people could do the Nemo theme off the top of their head.
Yeah. Yeah. I
know.
that it's an interesting pick. Like you said, we took off all the Pixar movies with Giacchino.
Well, Toy Story has a great soundtrack, but it doesn't really have like a theme that I can think of. But Monsters Inc. has a really iconic theme song, and it is a really beautiful soundtrack.
Yeah. Okay. That's who you're picking. So
my other option was How to Train Your Dragon, but not very nobody knows who directed that. John Lasseter directed Monsters Inc., and he's pretty iconic.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to have a storyteller, a storyteller for a movie, I would take John Lasseter.
Oh, no.
For sure.
No. It wasn't. It was Pete Docter. My guy. Pete Docter directed
Oh,
Monsters Inc.
yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I wanted to take him. Okay, so Pete Docter and Randy Newman. I'm glad. I get the direct, because he did Inside Out, he did Up, which are some of my favorite Pixar movies. So,
Yeah. Okay.
good. I'm glad. I didn't realize. I thought it was John Lasseter. So, Pete Docter, Randy Newman, iconic director. Not as an iconic of a director, but you know his movies. Everybody.
But once
knows
again,
him.
you can take these, if you're taking like the movie and it's like you're applying it to your own. And if you had him and Randy Newman, it could really get to the storytelling that you're trying to get.
I mean, in the piano scene when Boo is leaving him is incredible. It's so emotional.
Yeah.
Very all over the place soundtrack. It's got fun songs. It's got emotional piano pieces. Yeah.
So let's see, your director, composer. So the problem is I have a couple here on my list.
How many? I have one more. Okay.
That are similar. Williams and Silvestri, very similar in terms of like their use of the orchestra. Horner, very much into the woodwind. Giacchino is just an all around. I think he can kind of create. He can do anything. He can do anything for sure.
Possibly the most versatile.
I would have to say just because
almost like under.
I'm just trying to look at the movies he did just to kind of get it. To kind of get the because make sure you had a good director with him.
Yeah, Matt Reeves is really good. But yeah, J.J. Abrams. I forgot that he did those Star Trek movies. Those are really good. Much better than the Star Wars movies that he did. Which I don't blame him for. I blame Disney.
Yeah, I mean, you want to go back to Disney. I mean, anybody that did. I mean, just the original Disney songs that were done were just.
But those were more so like the singing songs, not like the scores. We got to separate the score from the movie.
Yeah.
So we're kind of down. We're down to our last two.
So I have a bunch. I have a bunch of left. I'm gonna add him into my. I'm gonna add him into my notables.
But don't say it yet, though. If you're not gonna take it.
No, I'm gonna add him into my notables. I'm gonna have to go with. Man, he's so iconic, but it's not something I would put on every day. Also iconic, but not something I put on every day. But you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go with Alfred Hitchcock and Bernard Herrmann.
Yeah, for Psycho.
Probably more North by Northwest. That's more my style.
Okay.
North by Northwest was Psycho is very very niche. It's iconic, but it's
everybody
niche.
knows. Dun 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 dun.
It's niche.
Possibly the most popular music in a film ever.
Correct. But it's very niche. So they were composing it for the specific mood of what was going on. But with North by Northwest is a much more beautiful kind of laid out soundtrack, and that's something that I do listen to. I also love the Vertical soundtrack, but I would say Hitchcock. I mean, as far as the director goes, it doesn't matter who the composer is.
No.
Just if you have Hitchcock, you say Hitchcock, I want you to make my film for me.
And in case anybody is listening to this and you're like, oh, that's stupid. Well, you are stupid because you don't watch real movies.
Easy. Let's not go there.
This is the OG iconic collaboration. Not my personal favorite, but iconic. This is like the OG Bernard Herrmann and Alfred Hitchcock. This is before Spielberg and Williams. This is very iconic. Everybody knows the Psycho. Dun 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 dun. Yeah.
I mean, I'm really happy with my picks. I mean, I got Steven Spielberg. I got Zemeckis, I got Cameron, I got J.J. Abrams, and I got Alfred Hitchcock. I mean, I'm very happy with my pick. Who's your final pick?
I'm gonna go with. Actually, I know exactly what my final pick is gonna be. I'm gonna go back to the olden days of films. I am going to take.
That's who I was gonna pick.
What's the name? What's the name of this? I forget the director, but he's iconic.
He is that
Um,
kind of. I think I know who you're
Sier,
talking about.
Sier
Yeah,
Leone,
Leon
and
and
Inicio
Ennio
for The Good, the
Morricone.
Bad, and the Ugly, or the whole Dollar
Yeah,
Trilogy. Do 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 do
Morricone.
do
Yep.
do do
Which
do.
is in every what's
Even if you've never
Stella,
seen
every Stella beer commercial.
Even if you've never seen, you've heard that theme. Do 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 do.
And they revolutionized editing, so
That is
the
just
editing in those movies was tremendous.
such an incredible soundtrack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really made the spaghetti western very iconic.
Yeah. And that was gonna be my pick, but I had to pick Hitchcock because he
Yeah,
influenced so many people.
yeah.
And
Oh
to
yeah,
have that, and then it's not just Hitchcock, but just Bernard Herrmann was the original, even before Marconi, he was the original person sought
yeah, 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 yeah.
after composer,
Yeah.
period.
Oh yeah.
So I've noticed that there are a lot of people missing from this list.
Well, first of all, we can talk about the most overrated composer of all time, Alexander Desplat.
Ooh, that's tough.
But this is the movie I was talking about earlier. Greta Gerwig and Alexander Desplat, Little Women. I love that's one of my favorite soundtracks. Not like an iconic soundtrack though, but iconic director and composer. But this was a case where the movie and the soundtrack are not iconic. The movie much more iconic than the soundtrack is. So modern day masterpiece, not known for its soundtrack. But if I need like to put on something where I'm like doing my writing, I put on the Little Women soundtrack because it's about an author. I have the book in the background there. I'm gonna be reading it actually. I'm excited because I love the movie.
It's fun.
I hope Timothy Chalamet's in the book.
Yeah, the
He's
person
won
I
a
was
lot of
gonna,
Oscars though for soundtrack. He's also worked with Wes Anderson. Actually, he beat Interstellar for the Grand Budapest Hotel, which I've never seen, but there's no way the soundtrack is better than the Interstellar soundtrack.
yeah, and the composer that I left out is gonna be Jerry Goldsmith, and
Oh,
so Jerry Goldsmith, he's most famous for Rudy in a kind of more mainstream way, but most famous for Star Trek. I mean, did all the
yes,
Star Trek. He
the
did the Star
original
Trek.
iconic.
He's worked with James Cameron in one of the Aliens, but I already had James Cameron with James Horner. But James Horner and Jerry Goldsmith are very similar where they both use the woodwind. They both use the flute, and that is something that has always been incredibly beautiful listening to. I like that style, so that definitely, definitely just kind of fits my style of what I'm looking for and when I'm listening to a soundtrack, and it's just, yeah, but I did notice that Ludwig did not make any of our lists.
Right. Well, Christopher Nolan was already taken, so we couldn't go with Oppenheimer, which is an epic soundtrack.
Yeah,
And I mean, he still doesn't have that much yet.
I know.
He's still new.
I know.
Um,
And the other two he's won with Coogler, which, I mean, I did like Black Panther, obviously,
not
but
familiar with the other movie at all.
yeah,
But
so
Black Panther is very good.
yeah. But there was a cup.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, Black Panther is actually wouldn't be a bad pick because that actually was a pretty important superhero movie. But I
Yeah.
wouldn't go with it.
But I mean, in terms of
X-Men
like,
movies, John Ottman.
John Powell
John
as well.
Powell. Yeah, I know.
And John Ottman. Yeah, both Powell and Ottman are.
Is
Yeah,
Ottman
sure.
the director?
Ottman's an editor, so he does
But
editing.
also
And
director though.
does he do directing too? Yeah.
Yeah, he directed a few of the. I believe he directed a few of the X-Men movies. If
No.
I'm not mistaken.
Nope, he was just the editor and composer.
Editor and composer. Yes, my hero.
Yeah, editor and composer. Yeah,
Editor composer. I
Yep.
know.
Yep. And he has a couple of Oscars. I think he's one of the few that have like Oscar for editing and composing in the same movie. But I mean, you mentioned Randy Newman, Thomas Newman, Sam Mendes. So they did American Beauty, Road to Perdition, Skyfall, 1917.
Oh, yeah.
So those were kind of crazy. Trent Reznor is somebody that technically is up and coming.
No, not at all. He's been around. So he works with Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah.
There Will
Yep.
Be Blood is like for modern soundtracks, pretty iconic. From what
And
I'm
the Social
now.
Network. The
Right?
Social
Did he do
Network.
the Social Network?
He did the Social Network,
Yeah.
which is all piano, right? So
I
he
don't
has
know.
a lot of
I
range.
couldn't hum a song from that soundtrack though.
Correct. No, no. It once again it plays with those type of movies. It plays to the emotions
So there was a
side of it.
theme. There is a soundtrack that I absolutely love, but the director, I don't not familiar with the director, but oh wait, what's the name of the composer again? Let me see. Bill Conti, not mentioned, but Rocky.
Yeah. And he also had that.
Da-da-da. Beautiful soundtrack.
Yeah. And
But
he had that that kind of American cinema,
hmm
Hollywood cinema style as well.
oh yeah,
That's where he came from. But
he
yeah,
also did the
that's
Karate
iconic.
Kid. He also did the Karate Kid.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
iconic
yeah.
movies and soundtracks, but not super iconic directors. Although,
Correct.
wait, although the person who directed Rocky also directed Karate Kid, which are basically the same movie for two different age groups and two different
Yeah,
forms of sports combat,
yeah.
boxing and karate. So it's funny. A lot of people are like, "Oh, these movies are so similar." Yeah, the same director, the same guy behind them. I mean, the Karate Kid has a really beautiful soundtrack too.
Yeah, and I have to say for like some like again notables, James Newton Howard,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
incredible, most famous for the Hunger Games soundtrack, but
Also
he
worked on
also,
Batman Begins with Hans Zimmer.
yep, he did, and he also worked with Chalamet. He did The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signed, Lady in Water. So he
Oh,
did a lot of great movies, and just want to make sure that we mention everybody that needs to be mentioned. And I think yeah, there's a lot more, of
Howard
course.
Shore,
Howard Shore is yeah.
very iconic. Like we
Yeah.
said, John Powell. Um, let's
So,
see.
and I think that with composers,
We haven't mentioned any female composers, but that's not that they're unfortunately few and far between. Like they get nowhere near the credit or the
nope.
iconism as the male composers. So that's
Yep.
unfortunate. Oh, Thomas Newman did the Shawshank Redemption. I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So absolutely.
But
And
Hilder, I just want to shout out to Hilder. I don't even know how to pronounce her name. Hilder or whatever. She's done some movies recently that were. Oh, she did the soundtrack for the show Chernobyl. She did. So she's a really great modern day female composer.
they're coming up because I see them. I see them if you follow Instagram, and there's some on. There's actually
Oh, Steve Jablonsky.
yeah, Steve
He's
Jablonsky. He did
done.
Transformer.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's an epic soundtrack. I guess he
Yeah.
also scored Ender's Game. Um.
Yeah,
Uh,
which is actually it's my favorite book. It's actually a it's amazing soundtrack. The
mhm.
soundtrack is, and I do reference that soundtrack a lot when I'm looking for music. I do listen to that soundtrack. It has such a great kind of like intro into the theme, but it's yeah, I
James
mean,
James Horner and Ron Howard for A Beautiful Mind.
yeah, I mean,
That's great. That's a great iconic movie, iconic soundtrack, iconic director. Well, Danny Elfman, I guess, did Age of Ultron, but also Alan Silvestri. Shout out the Avengers movies. Avengers Endgame actually has a phenomenal soundtrack. Like when I'm
yeah.
listening to the soundtrack, I can see the movie in my mind. That is an amazing soundtrack. Honestly, anything from Hans Zimmer and Nolan is going to be great. We kind of talked about that already, but yeah.
Yeah, there's somebody named her name's Amara Primero, and she's actually I've known her on LinkedIn for a long time, and she actually listened to some of your stuff that you composed, and
What?
she was the one that said about the book ending. She made the comment about the great book ending that you did on Comedy and Tragedy.
Oh yes.
She's actually done a lot of shows. There's a lot more. There's a lot more. There's a lot more female composers that are up and coming, and of course we know in Hollywood that's always a challenge and something that you finally get a cinematographer that gets recognized in the Oscars, but there's definitely obviously the talents there. It's just obviously the world we live in, unfortunately.
Just yeah, I mean the first female cinematographer just won at the Oscars. First time a
Mm-hmm.
female cinematographer's ever won an
Yeah.
Oscar. So
Yeah.
the recognition, but yeah, a great director
Getting
right
more
now.
female directors
Greta
in. I mean,
Gerwig is a great director.
yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Little Women's one of my favorite movies of like the last decade,
Yeah.
and Barbie was really great too.
Yeah. So, but I think that this
I
is
think in the future,
important.
Project Hail Mary could be because that's Miller and Pemberton, but it's so new. I haven't been able to listen to the whole soundtrack yet because it's 2 hours.
2 hours
But it's
long.
really
I did
beautiful.
create I did create a sound I did create a playlist if anybody wants. It's called the Project Hail Mary Experience, and I kind of curated from the 3 hours until like maybe 45 minutes,
Okay,
and it gives you the essence of the
so it's like a super cut.
soundtrack.
And
It's like a supercut.
in case anybody wants to check it out, I have composed music. If you go on Isaac Brecht on my YouTube channel, I have music on there that I've composed.
Yeah, both
Um,
both from singing and actual compositions, like
yeah.
composing
So
music. One of your songs was actually featured in Storm Chasing
it
season
was.
one. Storm Chasing season one. We used your
Joshua Brecht and Isaac Brecht, iconic director composer collaboration.
yeah,
We
no,
are,
for
in
sure.
case anybody's wondering, we do video editing professionally, and I've composed music for projects that he has directed.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
I
I've
did a
I've come to you asking if you could make some stuff, and we've done that. We've worked together like that. Yeah,
one of my favorite pieces I've composed is for a video we did for a company called Book Thinkers. I had a piece for that I really liked a lot. Obviously, comedy or tragedy is iconic.
yeah.
Because you listen to the original version and then you listen to the new version and you kind of hear the progress of the music itself.
I would say that film music has had an influence on me more than probably the movies themselves, because I didn't always have access to movies, but I had access to the music. And even before Spotify, like we had to get cassettes and you had to get records, and that was my thing. I listened to soundtracks
And we didn't
all the
take
time.
anything from Denis Villeneuve, who's a pretty iconic director right now, but the one I would go with is Dune, the only
Correct.
movie that Hans Zimmer did
Yeah.
that was as
Yeah.
popular as and also I just want to shout out to the original the Blade Runner soundtrack.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott, and I don't even
Ridley
know how to
Scott.
pronounce the guy's name, but that's a pretty iconic soundtrack as well. And Daft Punk for Tron Legacy is a great modern day soundtrack, but the movie is not on the same level, but the soundtrack is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
actually a lot more better soundtracks than there are movies. Just like how there's a lot more great
There is.
books. There might be a bad movie, but the soundtrack might be awesome.
Well, I have to give a shout out to Sweet Sounds. So Sweet Sounds
Hmm.
is on YouTube, and Sweet Sound does cuts of movies. And of course, it's on YouTube, and YouTube allows you to put music on there, and he doesn't make any money off of it. You can't monetize this music, but it's still the studio and the composer still gets credit for any plays. The way that YouTube works is you can use the music, they'll let you use the music, but they still get credit for it. So we're still, by listening to him, but you listen to soundtracks that are terrible movies but amazing soundtracks. And
And
I
a
have
lot of terrible
found,
movies have famous composers. There's
yeah,
a small pool. Like
yeah,
it's not like there's a lot of people that do movies, but there's a relatively small pool of composers that people will go to for movies.
there are
And
even there are
somehow Hans
even
Zimmer gets half the movies.
there's even shows that I would, because of the content, would never ever 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 watch.
Same with a lot of
But
these
they,
movies.
but
A
they
lot
have
of
a
the yeah,
they have a great soundtrack. The
a lot
music
of
is
the movies.
beautiful.
Well, none of the ones we drafted, but some of the movies we mentioned today, it's the same. Like I wouldn't watch those, but the soundtracks are incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the
And the
soundtracks are
TV, a lot
amazing.
of the TV, Hans Zimmer's done a lot of TV soundtracks, and
I
a
mean,
lot of
the
the
Earth
soundtracks they do.
soundtrack is the Planet Earth soundtrack is
Yeah,
beautiful.
Planet Earth,
Yeah,
video
and
game
I looked at
soundtracks.
Hans Zimmer. He's had 4 soundtracks come out since just did F1. It's like
I
what?
know,
It's
I know.
crazy, and it's
And
like
then
the
he just released a song with Kai and Kay or
crazy.
Ray, with
And he's
Ray.
touring.
Yeah,
And we
he's
saw him
touring.
live, which was the most epic thing
He's
I've ever
definitely
seen
the
in my life.
busiest. Although I have to say, to kind of end it, is that this year you're gonna get a soundtrack. So you're gonna have Spielberg and Williams.
Oh yes,
You're gonna have Hans Zimmer and Villeneuve, and then you're gonna have Jorgensen and Christopher Nolan, all
yeah,
in the
it's
same
crazy.
year.
Which
It's
is
gonna be
weird because
crazy.
it's like
And
the
hopefully
OG.
Pemberton sneaks in with Project Hail
I
Mary.
hope so. I hope so.
Because everybody is talking
It's
about
stacked.
the song "The Moment" is incredible, and the whole the whole fishing
Yeah,
scene. That whole
it's
there's
stacked.
3 songs in a row, and I put those back to back in the Project Hail Mary Experience playlist. It's
And it's
incredible.
crazy because Göransson usually works with Kugler. No, Zimmer usually works with Christopher Nolan. So in the
I
same year,
know
he's
he's been
coming
so
up with
busy.
another soundtrack, but all 3 are probably going to be nominated, which is
He's had
insane.
to,
And
he
Williams is retired, but he'll always do soundtracks for Spielberg. As long as he's alive, he will make soundtracks for Steven Spielberg. He did The Fabelmans, which is very underrated, I think. That's a great movie.
and with Zimmer, it's a
I don't
matter of
think that-
timing.
Yeah.
It's a matter of timing because he devoted all of his 100% time to Dune.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how or why he does all these projects. Oh, I do know why he does all these projects, because it keeps his musicians employed. That's why
Yeah.
he does them.
'Cause
He
he
doesn't
hired,
need to
like-
do them.
He
Yeah,
hired
he
like
doesn't-
all these musicians. I
Yeah,
mean,
he
Hans
doesn't need to do
Zimmer-
it. Yeah.
Hans Zimmer's the coolest guy.
Yeah, that's the reason why he does it. It's not because he needs it. He doesn't need it. He could literally he could live off of Dune, but he loves to support, and he loves touring.
Yep.
He didn't like touring. If you watch the documentary that they did, he didn't like touring. He had to be talked into it, and yeah. So, but anyways, great. As far as influences in music and movies and filmmaking and what makes the sound of a story. Many people listen to soundtrack. People listen to movies. They call it the soundtrack of their life. And so that's an
And I
integral
just
part
wanna-
of storytelling.
I would just like to say how influential this has actually been. Very important, because the reason why a lot of people choose us to edit their videos is because they think we are really good at scoring our videos, and they think that they're like, oh, your videos are so much cinematic. You watch a commercial on TV, it's corporate. You watch one of our commercials we made for a company on social media, and it's epic. Half of that is because of the music that we use. We're not using, I never use corporate music in my videos ever. It's always strings or something that sounds like from a movie soundtrack. So it's been so influential to the success of what we've been able to build, even for ourselves. So soundtracks are very important to us in our development.
Because we try to make films, and the corporate sound just doesn't cut it.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
all right.
This is
Needs a lot of ketchup.
It gets longer and longer. Next episode is going to be 4 hours.
4 hours, and we're going to be talking about ketchup.
And everybody is like, there's no one here anymore. It's just us.
Oh,
Just
we lost a
mom.
million
Not just
followers.
mom. Mom is still listening.
She's still listening to
This
it.
is just like every day.
Hi, Jessica.
This is just like every day when I lived at home, guys. This is what our conversations were like. We're just filming.
Yeah. So, right. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good
Thanks,
day.
everybody. Bye-bye.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you want to listen to more about us, we just did a review of Project Hail Mary, one of the biggest blockbusters this year, could be one of the biggest blockbusters all year. So please check out this video right here, and we'll see you over there.